for today's Community Comment with Terry Bell.
Thank you so much, Jake Hayes, and welcome to Community Comment, everybody. Our guests today are from the Aging and Disability Resource Center of Dodge County, Amanda Higgins and Jenny Farmer. Good morning.
Good morning on this frigid morning.
We're going to power through, though.
Yeah.
It'll be just fine. We'll get
the blood moving.
Warmed up here in just a second. And, there's no better way to do that than with Jenny's joke of the month.
Yes, and it's appropriate for today's weather.
Okay.
And all the snow we've had of late. So today's is, what do you call a snowman having a temper tantrum?
Snowman having, I'm going to say, if he's all heated up, he's going to be a puddle.
That is a good guess, but it is a meltdown.
A meltdown.
When she told me this yesterday, hothead came to my brain, but that wasn't connecting with snowman.
Meltdown does. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So something that's no joking matter is Medicaid work requirements coming soon.
Yeah, so we just wanted to kind of give a preview on what's to come. More information will be coming down the pipeline in June, but we just wanted to get kind of people prepared if they haven't heard about this issue. But the 2025 budget reconciliation law that was called the Big Beautiful Bill that was signed by Trump on July 4th, 2025, made some changes to Wisconsin Medicaid. Okay. Now, before I explain what's changing, just because people get Medicaid confused all the time, when I explain Medicaid, it is health insurance for people who are low income and have low assets. Also for people who have disability determinations, who live in an institution. So there's all these different factors that make a person eligible for Medicaid. And Medicaid in and itself is just a big umbrella, if you think about it. And depending on all of those different eligibility factors will kind of filter and put a person into a program of Medicaid. So there are so many different programs of Medicaid in Wisconsin. I can't even count how many different programs there are. But one of them, which is very common, that people have heard about a lot, is Badger Care. So not all Medicaid programs are going to be subjected to the change. It's only for Badger Care. So I just wanted to be very clear about that because I don't want to get people excited when they shouldn't need to get excited. But starting in January of 2027, so a year from now, anybody who's in Badger Care will have to perform at least 80 hours of work or some comparable activity. So it can be paid work, it could be volunteering, it can be enrolled in part-time education or job training. So there's different types of what they're looking for work, but it's going to target people who are 19 to 64 the most. So you have to do at least 80 hours of work, and it has to equal the minimum wage multiplied by that 80 hours. And right now, Wisconsin uses $7.25 as that minimum wage. So they're looking for a lot of this when people are enrolled into that part-time education or job training or volunteering. This is what they're using to justify that they're performing enough work if people aren't actually employed. And there are some exclusions or exemptions if people can't do the work, such as parents, guardians, or caretakers of dependent children under 13, or if they're disabled individuals who are pregnant, who are medically frail, and I'm guessing there's probably going to have to be some medical documentation with that. So I don't want to get into too much weeds because nothing is really set in stone at this point, in terms of exactly how things are going to flow, but just wanted to let people know that there are going to be some changes a year from now. It is going to include some work, and if people aren't doing the work or proving that they're volunteering and doing some of that other stuff, they're going to receive a notice if they haven't done that work in 30 days, and then they could be terminated from Medicaid benefits.
It sounds like there are plenty of exceptions, but like you mentioned, there are plenty of people who are on Badger Care because they cannot work. But it sounds like you don't have to worry if that is the case.
If it's not paid work, right. So you might have to get a little creative to maybe get out there and help with the food pantries, or maybe help volunteer and become a driver for one of our programs. So you'll have to be doing something to kind of give back to the community.
I see. All right. Well, maybe, I don't know. It seems like there's always a need for food pantry drivers and Meals on Wheels type drivers. So maybe that's an opportunity for people who are able to do that.
Yeah, so starting in June, we'll start hearing some more information about some of the details, but just wanted to bring to that surface as we start this new year.
And like Amanda said, there are other types of Medicaid that this isn't affected by as well.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing. I don't want anybody worry who's so disabled they can't work to feel like they're going to be required to do something they're incapable of.
Yeah.
That's not the case.
Yeah, seriously. And we can have those conversations about how to prove one of these exemptions, because I'm guessing you're going to have to fill out some documentation. You can't just verbally report some of this stuff. There's going to have to be some proof or verification. So that's why we're here to kind of help step people through that process.
Very good. We need to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. You're listening to Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Community Comment here on 95.3 WBEV. In the Daily Dodge TV studios, here's Terry Bell.
Thank you so much, Jake, and welcome back, everybody. We're talking to Amanda Higgins and Jenny Farmer from the Aging and Disability Resource Center of Dodge County. If you avail yourself to the ADRC services, you have a question or a comment, maybe on behalf of yourself, maybe on behalf of a loved one, feel free to join the conversation. Amanda and Jenny have all the answers to your questions, I'm sure. And whatever they don't, they can get.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right. We'll do our best.
I don't need to put you on the
No,
spot.
no. I say that to people all the time. We have a lot of connections to people and resources. So if we don't know the answer, we will definitely
We'll
get
do
that.
our best to find the correct answer.
Well said. You can call us or text us at 920-887-8585, or you can call the WBEV studio line at 885-4446. And something folks ought to know is that Medicare summary notices are changing to a 6-month time frame.
Yeah, so before people were getting their Medicare summary notices, so your Medicare summary notice is something that if you are getting Medicare, original Medicare, you get in the mail every 3 months telling you about what services that you've had over those past 3 months, and explaining what the service was, where you had it done, who performed the services and what you were charged for those services. And it's something that's really important for you to review to make sure that everything is accurate and that you are not concerned about the billing of those services and that everything's accurate. Those are super important so that way you know if you want to appeal any of those decisions. Amanda and I find them very helpful for when people come to us and they don't agree with a Medicare decision. That's the first thing we ask about is you have your MSN, your Medicare Summary Notice, and so we can review it with you so we can help you with the appeal if it's something you want to appeal. They are now going to send those every 6 months instead of every 3 months. The thing that we want to point out is you can look at this information sooner if you go on your Medicare.gov account. So if you create an online account, going to Medicare.gov, not .com, because .com is an insurance agency, so you want to go to Medicare.gov, create an account, and then you can stay up to date on that information more often. This is important because if you want to stay up to date on this information on a more accurate and more timely basis, this will help you stay up to date on your appeal process more timely. So that's really what we want to point out to you. We're not exactly sure when this exactly was going to change. We just know that the change is happening sometime in 2026. So you may get a quarterly statement in March, or you may not see a quarterly statement until
Yeah, what is that? March, April,
May, June?
August?
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 Not
So
sure.
if you don't get your next statement when you're expecting it, that's not necessarily a cause for concern.
Correct. So you might be looking at them every 6 months now instead of every 3 months.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cost-saving move.
We were talking about that too, maybe, as a possibility, the paper and maybe the postage.
Right. That's going to reduce quite a bit of paper trail for them if they're sending it every 6 months instead of every 3 months. So that's probably going to save them quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
But if there's more information about some of this, we'll definitely bring it to the table.
Yeah,
Absolutely. In 2026, something to look forward to, Social Security cost of living adjustments.
Yes, so I'm going to spout off a bunch of numbers to you.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, so the cost of living adjustments, otherwise known as the COLA, was an increase of 2.8% this year. So that means your Social Security increased by 2.8%, is one thing to keep in mind. There were also some other numbers that changed, and so I'm just going to give you some numbers in case you're a numbers person and curious in how these things changed.
But a lot of the numbers that you're going to talk about is connected to that cost of living number.
Right. Yes. Thank you for pointing that out
Yeah.
for everyone. So one thing that changed was the threshold to earn a quarter of coverage of Medicare increased. So when you are getting Medicare, everyone earns Medicare. We don't just get Medicare. You get Medicare through working over all the years, and you need to earn a quarter of Medicare, just like we earn our Social Security throughout years of working. You notice on your pay stubs when you're getting your money deducted from your payroll, one of the things that we're earning is Medicare. So to earn a quarter of coverage of Medicare increased from $1,810 per quarter in 2025 to $1,890 per quarter, which increased by $80.
Can I just add something to that?
Yes, please.
So you have to work and earn up to that dollar amount to get 1/4 of Medicare coverage. And so that means you can earn 4 quarters a year, right? And so to have insured status for Medicare, you need 40 quarters of work. So about 10 years of work, just to kind of put it into perspective for people.
So the average person, by the time you retire from working, if you worked pretty much full time most of your life, you're going to have those 40 credits. So you picture 10 years worth of working full time, you're going to have those 40 credits. Just to kind of put it into perspective for you.
I always thought you got Medicare when you hit age 65, no matter what. Not necessarily?
No.
Not necessarily. You can earn it through your spouse's earnings as well if you've been married during those years, but primarily you have to work to earn those credits. If you did not work during that time, or if your spouse did not, you might not have earned the credits to receive those credits.
And then that means you have to pay for Medicare Part A, which is very expensive because whatever that, depending on the quarters that you have, if you don't have the 40, depending on kind of where you fall in the numbers that you have is what's going to determine your Part A premium, but that's just for Part A. Then you have to factor in all of the other parts of Medicare, and once you add it all up, it can get really expensive.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So very important to be on top of that.
Right. There was early Social Security retirement work reduction in 2002. Tongue-tied. In 2025 was $23,400 or $1,950 per month. In 2026, it's $24,480 or $2,040 per month. So what that means, when you retire early from Social and start collecting Social Security retirement dollars early, you can only earn so much money per year or per month before they reduce the amount of Social Security you receive. So for every $2 of over that you earn, you get a reduction of $1 in Social Security. So they changed the amount that you can earn per year or per month. That increased by, looks like about $90 per month. So this changes annually, and this is only affecting people who took retirement early. So if your retirement age was supposed to be 66, but you took retirement at 62, then your reduction is, you're going to have to pay attention to these numbers. If you retired at your full retirement age, then you don't need to worry about these numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is exclusively for people who retired at 62 or younger.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. SGA, which stands for Substantial Gainful Activity, for non-blind individuals in 2025 was $1,620. And for 2026, it is $1,690 for non-blind individuals. So what that means is substantial gainful activity, that's how much you need to earn in order to not qualify for Social Security disability. So when someone applies for disability benefits, it's because they can't earn enough money per month to take care of their personal needs and pay bills and such as that. So if you're earning below a certain threshold, then you may qualify for disability benefits. This is that dollar amount that they come up with. So like I was saying, in 2025, it was $1,620. For 2026, it was $1,690. That's for people who are not blind. The numbers are different, though, if you are blind. In 2025, it was $2,700, and in 2026, that was increased to $2,830. It's just a different standard of numbers. SSI is another type of disability benefit. This is, again, for people who are disabled, but they never had enough work credits to earn that disability insurance. So Social Security disability insurance is something that we earn by working and that we paid into over the years, just like we did with Medicare. SSI is a disability type of program that we can get through Social Security for people who did not get enough work credits.
And have low income.
And have low income. And have a disability.
Yeah. All these ands.
So there's a bunch of steps. So this is for somebody who has a disability, has low income, and did not have enough work credits. So their threshold for the amount of money that they can get from Social Security is much lower. It's bare minimum amount of money to survive on. In 2025, the amount that they got for Social Security was only $967. That's all they got from Social Security per month to survive on. And for a married couple, it was $1,450. In 2026, that's being increased to $994 per person and $1,491 per couple. So that's the amount of money they have to survive on per month.
Which is not much at all.
No, I was just going to say, yeah.
But what's awesome about being a Wisconsinite is that if you get $1 of federal SSI, the dollars that Jenny just mentioned, you automatically get a state benefit of $83.78. I have no idea where that number came from. That number has been the same amount for decades.
Yes.
It's never increased, but the fact is you do get a little bit more from the state that hopefully helps things a little bit, but it's not ideal.
Right.
Okay, very good. We need to take a quick break for the news, but we'll be right back with Amanda Higgins and Jenny Farmer from the Aging and Disability Resource Center of Dodge County. You're listening to Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
with Terry Bell for today's community comment.
Jake, we're so pleased to have Amanda Higgins and Jenny Farmer with us as we do each month this time from the Aging and Disability Resource Center. If you have any questions or comments for Amanda and Jenny, you're welcome to get in touch with us. You can call us or text us at 920-887-8585. You can also call the WBEV studio line at 885-4446. And we're just talking about Social Security before the break, and you wanted to talk about the difference between a appointed representative and representative payee.
Yes. So going along with the Social Security topic, some people get confused with the terminology. So an appointed representative is somebody who can help you with the paperwork that comes along with Social Security. Social Security has a lot of paperwork, and it can be very confusing at times. Side note, that's something that Amanda and I will help you with with your Social Security paperwork, and not as an appointed representative, but just as what we do to help. That is completely different than being an appointed representative. We're just here as being an assistant for those things. But an appointed representative can help you by filling out an SSA 1696. That's one of the forms that can be filled out. And then they can officially help you by collecting records and information that come to you. They can help with conferences, they can help with hearings, and then they're there by your side. They can actually do things for you without you being present at the time, so they can act as an aid for you at the time. They can be an attorney or they can be a non-attorney, so they don't have to be someone who has a legal license. That's an appointed representative. Whereas a representative payee is someone who handles your Social Security money. They don't handle your pension. They don't handle your paycheck from a job. They can only manage your Social Security money. And that's where some people get confused when they have a rep payee. They think they're handling all their money. They're only handling their Social Security money. And they have to make sure their bills are paid first. They can't just give you money to go down to the local arcade or something. They have to manage your bills first, and they have to make sure that your money is being handled responsibly. Whereas an appointed representative, they're not managing your money. That's the biggest difference between the two. A representative payee has documentation that they have to fill out on a regular basis showing how your money was being spent for food, housing, and utilities have to be taken care of primarily first. And then after that, any type of groceries would go with the food, housing, and utilities, but then any type of other needs you have on top of that come afterwards. Clothing, entertainment, things like that nature come afterwards. So that's the main thing to keep in mind where they both have to deal with Social Security. Representative pay is dealing with your money, whereas appointed representative is dealing with more documentation.
Okay, that's an important distinction to be aware of.
And all still separate
Yes.
from like power of attorney documents. So,
Right.
I mean, all of these different authorities or different titles, do different things. So just because you're an appointed representative doesn't mean you have like
Legal authority.
over everything. But same with representative pay, there's still some limitations on power of attorney for finance, so they're not all the same. They're not interchangeable with each other too. So I think it's just being very clear on who you are when you're working with an agency such as Jenny and I.
Yes.
Okay. Tax time is just around the corner, and there's so much your office does to help people, but unfortunately, for better or worse, doing taxes is not one of them.
Which I am so fine with that because I don't even do my own taxes. So that would just give me lots of anxiety. But so tax assistance, there's certain programs available for people who are under age 62, not disabled. You need proof if you have a disability to participate this. A lot of it is through the ARP tax preparedness program. I was just going to say something else. Oh, we just thought it was very timely to bring this to the table just because tax season is right around the corner.
For sure.
So this tax assistance program through ARP, they can help with federal, state, talking is hard today.
It is. It's cold.
and homestead tax credit. And they cannot help with anything complex, such as farm returns, business, rental property. So it has to be just pretty basic tax forms that you're filing. And then we just wanted to share some resources that are available in the community. However, just how the Elder Benefit Specialist program is structured, our program attorneys don't provide any training on filling out homestead tax credit forms. We can provide information. I can give you the form. I can direct you to the IRS website, but we can't physically help you fill out that form. There are some counties, however, that do help with this, such as Fond du Lac, I know. But if that Elder Benefit Specialist helps with homestead tax credits, then the county has to provide the training and they have to take over any liability helping with that application lies. And at this time, Dodge County is just vouching not to do homestead tax credit. But again, like I said, it's fine because I am very anxious when it comes to taxes. But there are some resources here in Beaver Dam at the Watermark. Let's see here, starting January 12th, so just a couple days ago, they were starting to take applications for those appointments. And then appointments will start February 4th and run through April 8th. I think I just swapped these two around. I apologize. Still same times, but for the Watermark in Beaver Dam, you have to call Thursdays or Fridays between 10 and 2 to request that appointment. Okay. And that phone number is 920-887-4639, extension 705. That extension 705, I think, is going to be more important if they don't have a volunteer sitting at the main desk that you just want to punch in to make sure you get to the right person. At the Watertown Senior Center, kind of same thing with calling to request those appointments. There was no information when I looked at Watertown on when they were having those appointments, so I'm guessing it's going to be just more first come, first serve, maybe Monday through Friday, depending on when those volunteers are available. And the Watertown Senior Center is 920-262-8099. And then I looked into Waupun, and at this time they don't have any tax assistance programs available, but I believe Columbus does, if my memory serves me right. So even if you're a Dodge County resident and you typically go to the Watermark, if they're full, you can definitely check out these other tax sites for availability, because I know that they fill up real fast.
Yeah, and there's help out there, and there's free help. It seems like there are more like free online tax filing services, but maybe not everybody is a good fit for that. Mm-hmm. So there's that. I know if you, in some communities, even like accounting students will help with that sort of thing. I don't know if there's anything like that in Dodge County.
I don't know either. That would be something to maybe check out with Moraine Park. I know when my first couple years in college, I went and utilized the student program to get my taxes done, so that was kind of neat to do. But I'm not familiar with Moraine Park, but definitely an opportunity to make a phone call.
We have some time to talk about how the benefit specialist referral process works.
We just had some questions recently that have kind of came through, and people a little frustrated that they can't talk to us live, on demand. And so we just want to kind of explain how to get a referral to Jenny or I. So when you have a benefit need, benefit question, issue, whatever the case is, what you do is you call the Aging and Disability Resource Center, 920-386-3580. And I'm primarily 40 hours a week the elder benefit specialist. Jenny does 20 hours of elder benefit specialist and the other 20 disability. And then we have Ashley, who does disability benefit specialist. So my point is there's 3 of us that serve the entire county of Dodge, which we get spread quite thin. So when you call our office, you don't talk to one of us. You actually talk to one of our resource specialists. You don't have to get into the weeds about what your problem is. You can just generally say, I got this letter from Social Security. I need help with an appeal or something to that effect. What the deadline is, kind of just the high level important facts. whoever is taking the calls for that day then send all of those referrals to Jenny, Ashley, and I, and we have a rotation system in play. Once we get the referral, we accept it from the resource specialist. Usually we try to call people back within 24 hours, maybe 48 hours if we're really busy or gone at a training or something, but we really do our darndest to call people back within 24 hours. But I just kind of wanted to clear the air a little bit, just because some people just feel that they're needing to talk to one of us at that same particular time that they call our office. And with just the three of us, and we have 5 resource specialists, that's just kind of how we have our office set up. Every Aging and Disability Resource Center has their program set up a little differently. I know in other counties there's like office hours set up at the main office for people just to kind of walk in and answer questions. But again, Jenny, Ashley, and I, we're not always in the office. We're at the radio. We're doing a presentation.
Working with other clients, a home visit. So we're not going to say, no, don't come in, but it's probably not ideal because we just can't guarantee. And you might be waiting an hour and a half for us to get done with whatever we're doing. So it's just more efficient for everybody just to go through the referral process. Let us kind of look at your problem issue. We might have some other questions that we need to kind of generate anyways before we call you back.
We're talking with Amanda Higgins and Jenny Farmer of the Aging and Disability Resource Center of Dodge County. We need to take one more quick break, but we'll be right back. You're listening to Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Long day?
For today's community comment, here's Terry Bell.
Thank you very much, Jake. Still a few minutes to join the conversation if you'd like to talk to Amanda Higgins or Jenny Farmer with the Aging and Disability Resource Center of Dodge County. You can call us or text us at 920-887-8585, or you can call the WBEV studio line at 885-4446. So perhaps it's you're getting close to Medicare age, but you have a lot of questions and not a lot of information. You have some help for that.
Yeah, we actually had our first class of 2026 last Thursday, but we just wanted to share some upcoming dates. I didn't want to just list the whole year schedule. That can be found on our Facebook page or our website or even calling the office. But the February class for our Medicare Basics and Beyond class is February 10th at 1 o'clock. And then March 10th also at 1 o'clock. I believe there are different days of the week, though. We try to not have it be the same day of the week, or we kind of move it around for the time because we know that people are still working or maybe just have other commitments and can't attend the same time every month. So we're just trying to mix it up a little bit. But our Medicare Basics and Beyond class is very comprehensive. It starts from what a Medicare card looks like, how people are eligible, and then we start getting into more of the complicated stuff, such as the cost and coverage of original Medicare, and then those other puzzle pieces or different parts of Medicare. Drug coverage, advantage plans, supplements. I don't know if I'm missing anything. But then at the end, we give some additional resources available, some tips and tricks on other public benefits that people can utilize. So we really encourage people about 3 to 6 months, maybe even 8 months before they turn 65 to come and get that comprehensive information, just so then they can make informed choices on what's going to work best for them. They're going to avoid any lifetime premium penalties that they may incur for making some decisions that they were not informed about, and then just have some support from us then afterwards if you need to have a one-on-one sit down and schedule an appointment to talk with us about your situation. We're not licensed insurance agents, so we're not going to give biased information. It's all unbiased. Even if someone says, if I was your aunt or your mother or grandmother, whatever relation you can think of, we're still not going to give our opinion or our suggestion. We're just going to give you the facts, talk to you about the pros and cons of all of the different parts of Medicare, and then give you different options on how you're able to enroll in the plan coverage of your choice. So I really highly encourage anybody who's listening to come to that class and spread the word.
Yes, the class is much better to come to than just coming to see us one-on-one before the class. The one-on-one follow-up is always nice if you feel you need it, but I know sometimes people are kind of against coming to the class. They feel like they would rather just see us one-on-one, but the class is very comprehensive, and I definitely highly encourage you to come to the class.
We give you our PowerPoint with the notes, a ton of extra handouts that just go very nicely with the PowerPoint because everything is color-coded. We really try to direct as many people to come to those classes as possible because doing those one-on-one appointments just takes up a lot of valuable office time. And so since we're already having this class, it's nice to talk to 10 people at once and kind of maximize our resources. And then, like I said, we can meet afterwards to talk about, your specific concerns or situations. So it's just a valuable class to attend. We also encourage people to register about a week beforehand just to make sure that we have enough materials prepared for everybody. Depending on the year, we have to update the materials because of different programs and numbers changing. So we just wanted to make sure that we're prepared for everybody who signs up. So like I said, you can just call our office at 920-386-3580, speak with anybody at the front desk, and they can take your registration. All of the classes are in Juneau at the Human Services Building. You just come in the ground level doors, and we have really nice signs that direct you right to our meeting room.
And there's one coming up on February 10th and then a month later on March 10th.
Yeah, Yep. Ironically, they're both at 1 o'clock, but if you look at our full schedule, we kind of rotate the times, the days of the week. We do have, I think it's a 3 or 4 o'clock class coming up this spring. We usually do like a later afternoon, early evening one in the spring, and then also in the fall to, again, accommodate those people who might be still working.
We're just a couple of weeks away from an important day, and that's Dementia Advocacy Day on February 3rd.
Yeah, so I just wanted to bring a couple events to share with the listeners. So Wisconsin Alzheimer's and Dementia Advocacy Day is February 3rd. Registration, if you want transportation to Madison, is January 22nd, which is, today's Tuesday, Thursday.
Today is Tuesday the 20th.
Yeah, the Thursday. And so if you haven't heard of Advocacy Days or have never been, it's an opportunity to spend the day at the Capitol. Usually there is some training in the morning on the different issues at hand, how to talk with your legislatures. And then usually there's kind of a lunch, an opportunity to socialize with other people around the state regarding these same issues. And then there is meetings scheduled with the different representatives and senators to talk individually with them about your issues. You are either talking with them or their staffers about these issues, and you don't go in by yourself. Usually you go in with a group that's based on your zip code. So it's a great opportunity to voice your concerns. So attending Alzheimer's and Dementia Advocacy Day is definitely well worth your time. There's going to be a Disability Advocacy Day and then also Elder Advocacy Day, but those are still coming up in the future that we'll make sure to bring and share with everybody.
So if you'd like to be part of that day, how do you get in touch? How do you sign up for that?
You just call our office, 920-386-3580, just to register if you are wanting to have transportation provided from Juneau to Madison that day. If you're going to still do your own transportation, I would still register by the 22nd just to make sure that those meetings with the representatives and the senators are scheduled for you and anybody else in the zip code.
Okay, so that's good. You'll guarantee you'll get to talk with someone.
Yes, it's been a couple years since I've done it for Aging Advocacy Days, but it's definitely very memorable just to be at the Capitol and just be there for very, very important issues that really affect everybody's day-to-day lives.
Very good. And finally, we just have a few seconds left, but we want to be sure to remind people about Caregiver Connection Craft Class.
So our new caregiver coordinator, Candace, she has been doing some events, I would say, since November, I think. December, she did a bus tour and she looked at a bunch of Christmas lights with people. In February, she is doing a craft class at the Juneau Library. They're going to use watercolor as well as tempera paint to create some art. There's no cost. All you have to do is contact our office to get on the list that you want to attend. February 26th between 1:30 and 3 p.m. Like I said, the Juneau Public Library. There's no cost, and everybody is welcome.
Very good. I'm afraid we're out of time. The hour flew right by. Amanda,
Always.
Jenny, thanks for coming in again. Good to see you.
Yeah.
And thank you, for everybody, for joining us. You've been listening to Community Comment on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.